So the game I'm playing today is called Championship Pro-Am for the Sega Genesis. Yeah, it's been a while since I covered a Genesis game on the channel, hasn't it? Expect more of those to appear on the channel later on this year, because that is also something I would like to bring back to the channel as well, in addition to more racing games. But this game right here is an enhanced remake of the NES game RC Pro-Am, originally developed by Rare and published by Nintendo in 1988, and was later ported to the Sega Genesis under the name Championship Pro-Am in 1992, and was republished by Tradewest. Now, this is not the first time that I have showcased the RC Pro-Am series on my channel, because some of you who have been following the channel for quite a while now will probably remember that one time, or technically the multiple times, that I have featured RC Pro-Am 2 on the channel. Some of you who have been following me long enough to remember my ROM Corruption series may recall that RC Pro-Am 2 was featured in at least 3 episodes of that series. And of course, I also did a normal gameplay video on it sometime in 2017. But ever since I did the normal gameplay video of RC Pro-Am 2, I have kinda wanted to check out the original RC Pro-Am. Even though this game is technically not the original RC Pro-Am, but it is based on it. So what exactly is the premise of RC Pro-Am, though? Well, it's a racing game, for one thing. That's right, I said I wanted to cover more racing games, so why not start off the year with a racing game? But RC Pro-Am is a racing game in which you are driving a remote-controlled car, and you are competing against other RC cars on a variety of different track layouts. There's about 24 tracks in total, despite the game's cover art saying there's 32, but that's misleading. There really is only 24, and actually, only 12 of the levels have unique layouts. The overall objective, as with pretty much every other racing game that's ever been created, is to try and finish in the highest position, or in other words, try to finish in first. Now, there is much more to RC Pro-Am than just that, because RC Pro-Am is technically a vehicular combat racing game. You do have various weapons at your disposal to try and put a stop to the competition. You have missiles that you can fire at your opponents, and you also have bombs that you can lay down on the track. If any of the opponents run into them, then they will explode. Of course, none of your opponents will get obliterated permanently if you use weapons against them. The weapons are more so used as a method to just slow your opponents down, instead of just destroying them outright. You can also upgrade your car as the game progresses. You can also increase the top speed, acceleration, and handling of your little RC car. You can also upgrade the body of the car itself by collecting various letters that are scattered throughout all of the tracks. And in order to qualify for the next race, you have to finish in at least third. The game does not actually require you to win all of the races necessarily, but you do need to finish in the top 3 in order to advance. Now, the original RC Pro-Am does have several differences from RC Pro-Am 2. For one thing, there aren't as many weapons in the first game as there are in the second. In fact, the only weapons you can use in the original are bombs and missiles. Unlike in the second game, in which you can also use lasers and freeze rays, but those don't exist in the original. Also, you may recall from my RC Pro-Am 2 video that you can earn money at the end of each race that you can then spend on permanent upgrades for your vehicle. You can also use that money to buy more weapons, but in the original RC Pro-Am, that kind of system doesn't exist. Instead, you can find all of the permanent upgrades for your car littered across the track, and you just have to drive over them, and you'll receive those upgrades permanently. The game is definitely much faster paced because of that, and it is actually a lot more difficult than the second game. Much like in the second game, you have 3 lives in total, and if you finish in 4th or lower, then you will need to use a continue. But unlike in the second game, where you will just automatically go on to the next track, even if you have to use a continue, you have to restart the track that you just played if you end up failing it in the first game. So the original RC Pro-Am actually requires you to finish the race in at least third if you want to proceed to the next level. Also, the game has no ending. I'm not sure if RC Pro-Am 2 had a definitive ending either, though. I don't believe it did. But yeah, RC Pro-Am is technically an infinitely long game, because there is no ending, and You can play the game for quite a long time, and you'll pretty much never reach any sort of ending. Apparently, the game itself extends well beyond level 200, even though the levels do begin to repeat themselves after level 24. So this is essentially just an arcade-style score attack game where you're just trying to survive for as long as possible. There's no point standings that exist in the first game either, so really you're just trying to complete levels here, and not actively trying to compete with the other opponents like you were in the second game. So what exactly are the differences between RC Pro-Am and Championship Pro-Am? Well, given the fact that Championship Pro-Am runs on a much more powerful system, the graphics have obviously been improved. This is essentially a 16-bit remake of RC Pro-Am, because the original was only 8-bit. You're also competing against more opponents, because you actually have 5 opponents this time instead of 3, which I can only presume was made possible due to the much faster processing speed of the Sega Genesis compared to the NES. Also, the word that you had to spell out in order to upgrade the body of your car in the NES port of RC Pro-Am was Nintendo. But when the game was brought over to the Genesis, the word Nintendo was changed to Champion, which is perhaps unsurprising considering the heated rivalry that Nintendo and Sega had at the time. So in other words, Championship Pro-Am is essentially RC Pro-Am, but with better graphics, more opponents to compete against, and not really anything else, honestly? I mean, the reason I chose to play this version specifically was because of the better graphics. That's pretty much the only reason why I'm playing this edition of the game. And those are pretty much all the differences I wanted to highlight from the original version of RC Pro-Am, so with that being said, how's about we just get started? Indeed, welcome to Championship Pro-Am, press start, otherwise it's just gonna go back to the title screen. Okay, so we have to register our name, which is not unlike RC Pro-Am 2, because that's also what we had to do in that game. Doesn't give you that much time to actually enter your name here, but yes, 3 initials once again. And I am going to try and highlight some of the other differences, or some of the, I guess you could say similarities between this game and the original, and also the second RC Pro-Am game, because there are some things here that are not really that much different from the second game, honestly. So, first of all, the track designs, well, the track designs are kind of similar to RC Pro-Am 2 to some degree. Yeah, the game is definitely a lot faster paced, and there is a lot of stuff that's already happening right here, actually. So, yeah, you have 2 laps on this very first track right here. I do believe the tracks in Championship Pro-Am are a lot shorter than they are in RC Pro-Am 2, which I think is why it almost feels like they fly by a lot more quickly. As a matter of fact, we're already done with that first track, and I did get a letter somewhere. Yeah, so there's also a trophy room as well. I don't believe that was in the second game. I do believe it was in the first, though, so yeah, you do collect trophies for finishing in either first, second, or third. So if you finish in first, you get a gold trophy, second, you get a silver trophy, and third, you get a bronze trophy. So I did pick up a weapon right there. You do have the missiles, and if you're wondering what those stars are that I just ran over, that is essentially extra ammunition for your weapons, and holy crap, man, okay, just leaving everyone in the dust already. Indeed, there you go, got another trophy right there. Yeah, so it'll show you all of the upgrades that you have collected so far on the little screen that appears before the track actually loads. The screen does not appear for too long, it only appears for like 3 seconds, but it does give you an idea as to all of the different upgrades you have managed to collect. So you'll notice that it's saying that I'm out of the race, so that effectively means I'm in 4th place or lower. I did collect a roll cage, so the roll cages also appeared in RC Pro-Am 2, and those essentially grant you invincibility. And if a car tries to ram into you, they will spin out, and if they end up going off the track, if they end up careening off of it, then they will explode. Now, of course, they do not get obliterated permanently. Also, I don't even know how I got a game over there. I think it was pretty clear that I was in front of that yellow car, and I do believe that much like in RC Pro-Am 2, all of the ammunition that you've obtained in the race will get carried over to the next race, and I believe you also get to keep that ammunition even if you end up failing the race that you just participated in. Okay, could you please not do this right now? I'm trying to explain crap to the viewers here. Could you just stop bullying me for a second? There we go. Bully you right back. There we go, very nice, very nice. Yeah, so, I have to mention something about this yellow truck as well. So, if you spam your weapons way too much, For whatever reason, the yellow truck will get extremely triggered by that, and it'll start accelerating at a monumental speed. It accelerates all the way up to 127 miles per hour, which is a lot faster than any of the other trucks can go in this game. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they programmed the game like that, and I'm not sure why it's the yellow car in particular that gets really pissed off by the player using their weapons way too often, and not like all the other freaking cars, but yeah, you do have bombs as well, by the way, which I am placing down, so whenever someone collides with a bomb, they just get destroyed instantly. Oh my god, I need to, like, just get away from these frigging, these guys with the roll cages, holy crap. Yeah, keep in mind, though, that there is a little mini-map at the bottom of the screen showing you the level layout, and I really like this user interface here, because the thing that I didn't really like about RC Pro-Am 2 was the fact that it barely even had an interface of any sort, but it turns out that the original RC Pro-Am does actually have a fully fledged user interface that for whatever reason, they just decided to remove entirely in the second game, and I'm really not sure why. But yes, it has been replicated here in Championship Pro-Am, and it's much higher quality as a result of, you know, 16-bit graphics. One of the greatest aspects about having an actual user interface here is that you can see the amount of ammunition you currently possess while you're in the race, instead of having to look at it through your, like, car customization menu that you have in RC Pro-Am 2 whenever you're trying to, like, buy upgrades or, you know, trying to purchase more weapons and what have you. There we go, got first. So yeah, you only get points for winning races in this game. You don't get money at all. There's no money that you can use in order to upgrade your vehicle. As I mentioned before, all of the upgrades, all of the permanent upgrades that you can obtain in this game can be found on the track itself. So you have to drive over it, and there you go. You'll obtain them permanently. And like I said, you can see the upgrades that you currently possess on the little, not really a tally screen, but like the little screen that appears right before the track loads. Also, I need to try and, like, there we go. There we go. It's like the takedowns in Burnout 3. You just gotta ram into them. Just ram them right off the track and they just blow up. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so a lot of the hazards from RC Pro-Am 2 also make an appearance in this game as well. So you do have, like, water puddles, you have oil slicks, you also have, like, little clouds as well. I don't know if those clouds were in RC Pro-Am 2, though. I don't believe they were. They have those little clouds that kind of move around occasionally, and they just drop, like, little puddles of water all over the place. I don't believe that was brought back in the second game, though, but I think it was in the first. Yeah, also take notice of, the track conditions as well. It says that the track conditions are fast, and I believe that'll also tell you, like, the track condition will show you how fast the cars will actually move, like your opponents. Not just your opponents, but I think your own car as well, or maybe not your own car. I mean, I don't really know too much about the original RC Pro-Am or Championship Pro-Am compared to the second game. Like, I'm a lot more familiar with RC Pro-Am 2 than I am with RC Pro-Am 1. Also, where the heck did everyone go? Why is everyone just leaving me? I feel very lonely out here in the back. Okay, this is not okay at all. I don't like being all the way back in here. Okay, well, I'm definitely gonna fail anyway. Yeah, the game does not wait for you as well. Something that's also different from RC Pro-Am 2 is that the game will not wait for you to finish a race, and actually, did I already... Oh no, I still have another continue. Yeah, you have 2 continues, by the way. I don't believe it's possible to get additional continues in the original, though, or in Championship Pro-Am, for that matter, so, yeah, it's a lot more difficult. This is a really difficult game. It's definitely a lot harder to play than the second game. Also, yeah, this truck does have terrible handling, but I'm pretty sure that's the entire point, so... The point is that it's supposed to have terrible aiming, or like terrible handling, I mean, and that you're supposed to upgrade it by driving over all of the permanent upgrades that you find on the track. So you also have barriers, don't run into those because they will obliterate you instantly. And you also have zippers, which were also featured in the second game as well. But unlike in the second game, they are used automatically in Championship Pro-Am, because in RC Pro-Am 2, you could actually collect multiple zippers at once, and then you could actually use them all at once, if you wanted to. Like, you could use them manually, essentially, but you can't do that in this game. They just get used automatically, and also I did just completely fail. So yeah, you'll notice that the game does require you to complete all of these tracks at least in third place before you can go on to, to the next track. It doesn't allow you to just skip a track by using a continue. Doesn't work like that in this game. Also, just like in RC Pro-Am 2, you can view all of the other opponents, like where all the other opponents are on the track by looking at the minimap. Also keeps track of your lap time, which I don't think it does in the second game. And I mean, the second game did also have a minimap showing you the positions of all the opponents, but it wasn't, it was not anywhere near as detailed as it is in this game. Okay, you know what? You know what? Get out of here. I haven't ever seen any of the other opponents upgrade their own cars before, though. Probably because I've never been able to get, like, this far, or get, like, so far into the game. Okay, can I just, like, stop going over the same freaking oil slick every single friggin' time? Oh my god, do it, please! Don't go into the wall! Okay, well, I still made it anyway. There we go. Overtook the green truck at the last second. Yeah, the models are so much, the sprites, I should say, are so much more detailed as well. Looks like they have actual shading on them. Thanks to the power of the Genesis, thanks to some of that blast processing power that definitely does exist. Yeah, definitely. Not just an outright fabrication that was made to make it seem like Nintendo didn't know what they were doing with their own hardware. No, absolutely not. But yeah, this is definitely a much more difficult game than RC Pro-Am 2. At the very least, there aren't any bombers that come around and try to, like, lay down nukes on you, because some of the levels in RC Pro-Am 2 had a mechanic like that, and it wasn't really, I know that that was a mechanic that a lot of people criticized with the second game. I didn't really see that much of a problem with it, though, because a lot of people complained that it was very difficult to avoid those nukes that it was dropping down on you. But I don't really agree with that criticism, though, because literally all you have to do is just swerve. Swerve to the left and the right. It wasn't really that hard. I don't know what people were whining about there. Yeah, by the way, you notice what the yellow car is doing on the minimap right now? Yeah, the yellow car is going absolutely buck wild, and that's what happens when you overuse your weapons. Like, the yellow car will just say, I don't know, the yellow car will basically start cheating if you do that. Again, I don't understand why it's the yellow car in particular that gets, like, so angry at you when you use your weapons, but it's like, I don't freaking know, man. Oh my god, this handling is the bane of my existence. It's not like it will be, it currently is. Good lord, man. But yeah, I'm just really excited to be playing this again, guys, because I've wanted to try and revisit the RC Pro-Am series on my channel for quite some time now, and I don't know, I just thought this was an appropriate way to do it. Basically, check out the original RC Pro-Am, but just essentially a much better version of it. God, I am just so terrible at this, though. I do feel like the second game is a lot more accessible than this, though, due to the fact that, well, it really does feel like the opponents are nowhere near as fast in the second game as they are in this one. It does make it a little bit easier to play as a result. But man, this traction right here, this traction control is just unbearable. It's practically non-existent. Yeah, this is one of those games where you really have to, like, learn the level layouts. Also, I need to, like, what I need to do is, like, actually try using my weapons here. There we go. That's what happens when you actually use your weapons. You win. You start winning, finally. Oh, there we go. I have, like, maximum top speed now, so hopefully this should mean that I can actually, like, sort of try to gain an upper edge against these guys. No. Oh, okay. That didn't actually kill me somehow. Please. There we go. I don't know, am I dropping inputs right now? I kind of feel like I am trying to fire my weapons, but it's not, like, doing anything. At least on occasions. Oh my lord. Yeah, see, the only thing that does kind of annoy me about the roll cage upgrade is that it lasts for very long, but due to the fact that your opponents can also grab it as well, yeah, it can be very irritating, needless to say. Yeah, some of these tracks will also have, different numbers of laps, depending on some aspect of the track. I have no idea what exactly. Oh lord. Okay, well, bye. Bye, yellow car. I still made it anyway, so we're gonna go to level 6. I'm probably not gonna be playing this for too much longer, and under normal circumstances, I would just be using save states in order to get through most of the levels here, but I'm not sure about this though, but I don't know if the save states, like, even work on, Sega Genesis Classics, because that's what I'm actually, playing this through. Now, I do need to mention something about that, though. Championship Pro-Am is not officially part of Sega Genesis Classics. This is basically like, when I played Ranger X a couple of years ago, where someone had actually uploaded this game as a mod for an existing game in the compilation. And in this case, somebody uploaded Championship Pro-Am to the Steam Workshop as a mod for Golden Axe 2. So that's effectively how I'm playing Championship Pro-Am here, because it's not actually part of the compilation itself. Okay, wow, that was like a calculated attack right there. He ran into it. Very nice indeed. Okay, there we go. This damn, like, snake cornering right here. There we go. Like, this little, like, serpentine cornering. But I still made it, though. Still got to level 7. There we go. Got some pliers. Alright, get the yellow car out of the way. Yeah, the only problem is that, the cars are still solid whenever you destroy them, so... yeah, sometimes you just end up running into them and you get stuck on them. I hate it. Okay, well anyway, we're back to level 7. Let's see if we can actually, like, do a thing here. Let's see if we can do a thing. I honestly, I don't even care about the yellow car. What even was that? I could have sworn that I drove over the damn roll cage, but, frick off. Frick right off, buddy boy. Okay, I need to get these zippers. Oh my god, these barriers, though. These friggin' barriers. Oh my god, this guy still has his roll cage. Okay, bombs away. Bombs away, boys. Hang on a second. I'm in third. If I can just stay in third, which is not working out for me in the slightest right now. Oh, please. What am I doing? Oh my god. Go the other way. This is the worst vehicle I've ever seen in a video game. I do need to mention that some of these upgrades are only temporary. Like, when you run over those tires right there, I think that also only gives you, like, a temporary boost to speed. Yeah, the first level is so friggin' easy, but then it ramps up, like, so quickly, though. The upgrade itself you will receive permanently, though, so those tires are also known as the super sticky tires, and I believe those do upgrade your traction permanently, while also providing you with a temporary boost to speed. The game definitely runs a lot better than RC Pro-Am 2, though, or even the original RC Pro-Am on the NES. Frame rate is definitely a lot better here, probably because it's running on a much more powerful console. I mean, I guess if you really want to go for first place, try not to use your weapons all too often. Maybe that's the lesson here. Maybe that's why, like, green guy just goes absolutely berserk when or not green guy, but yellow guy goes absolutely insane when, you use your weapons too often. Well, just took him out there. Just gonna go past that, thank you very much. And I mean, if you're not familiar with the track layout, you can always use the minimap as a guide. The game is definitely much more faster paced than the second game, so all of the cars do appear to move a lot more quickly, so if you're not familiar with these level layouts, definitely consult the minimap, because I do feel like it will help you out in the long run. Oh my god, there's 3 guys, including myself, that are all, like, that are all invincible right now. Yeah, when you are invincible, that also makes you invulnerable to missiles and bombs. So, it's another thing to keep in mind. They'll literally just ricochet off of you. See, it's good when you collect them, because it lasts for so long. But when the opponents collect them, that's not a very good thing, because that can be really annoying. Still somehow managed to get second in level 5 here. Okay, I haven't had to use a continue yet, so maybe we're getting somewhere. Maybe I can get past level 7, finally. If you want to know how far I've managed to get in this game before, I've managed to get all the way to level 9, which, for the record, is like 3/4 of all of the unique track layouts that are in this game, because as I mentioned before, there's only 12 unique tracks. And I think the other 12 tracks that come with this game are just much more difficult versions of the first 12 tracks. And then after that, the tracks just begin to repeat themselves indefinitely. And I think the overall challenge here is that if you do manage to get to, like, extremely high levels where the game does start becoming, you know, extremely repetitive, I believe that it does eventually become impossible to beat the game due to the fact that the cars will accelerate so frigging fast that you actually cannot overtake them whatsoever. They'll always outrun you, no matter what. So I think that's the overall challenge. Like, the speed of all of these vehicles increases as you complete more levels, until eventually the game becomes literally impossible. Also, you really need to try and hit the speed boost as well, otherwise you are gonna be left in the dust, no matter what. Ooh, okay, well... I guess spamming bombs there actually helped me out. I got past level 7, guys. I think I only had to use 1 continue that time. There we go. Super sticky tires and turbo acceleration have been maxed out. So I believe level 8 is one of the longest tracks here. So in RC Pro-Am 2, all of the tracks were divided into 3 separate worlds, technically, or like 3 separate themes. So, all of the tracks in Championship Pro-Am follow just one theme, however. But usually every 8 tracks, there's like, what is effectively this, this boss track right here, where it's very long. I don't even know what the heck happened there. Yeah, usually every 8 tracks there will be like this extremely long track with a lot of laps, and you have to just try and pass it at least in 3rd, which I'm gonna see if I can try and do here. There's like this long straightaway that I could potentially use for, you know, killing people with various weapons and whatnot, and also for causing Yellow Guy to go insane again. Or I don't know, maybe it causes all of the vehicles to accelerate whenever I use too many weapons. I don't know. Does it? Okay, I'm not entirely sure how I got that roll cage, because I don't think I was anywhere near it, but okay. You know what, that's fine. That's actually okay. I don't mind that. Oh god. This would be a lot easier if I was using my, if I was, like, using my frigging missiles. I don't know where the heck my missiles went. Well, needless to say, I didn't beat level 8, but on the bright side, I went back. Look what I did, guys. Yeah, I upgraded my vehicle. Oh. Okay, so that's interesting then. So, if I collect all of the letters, that causes everyone's vehicle to get upgraded. Ah, okay. Well, that's kind of strange though, because in the second game, the opponents could also drive over the letters, and they could also upgrade their cars individually, but I guess in this game, when you upgrade your car, that causes everyone else's car to get upgraded too. Maybe that's because of the fact that the opponents can't use weapons? I don't really know, but I've been trying for a while to get back to level 8, guys, and for whatever reason, I always seem to fail on either level 6 or 7, and honestly, this is not fun for me anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely real with you guys, I'm not actually enjoying this anymore, because I've been trying for like the past 20 minutes to get back to level 8, where I last left off, and it's just not working out. I'm at least glad that I was able to show off one of the upgrades, like show off what happens when you are able to collect all of the letters to spell out the word champion, but I did not realize that it actually upgraded every single opponent's car as well when you did that, because that's not how it works in RC Pro-Am 2, because all of the opponents could upgrade their own cars individually, like upgrade the body. But I guess because none of the opponents in the first RC Pro-Am can pick up items except for roll cages, then they decided to make it so that everyone gets upgraded when you upgrade yourself. So if I had to guess, maybe the game's difficulty scales with all of the upgrades that you've obtained so far? I don't really know how this works. This is like super bizarre to me, and as someone who is way more familiar with the second game than the original, or its remake for that matter, yeah, this feels very alien to me for some reason. But there really isn't that much else to say about Championship Pro-Am, though. As I mentioned before, the game does not have a definitive ending. There's 24 different levels in the game, technically, that have been, like, handcrafted by the developers, but the second half of the levels actually reuse the exact same track layouts as the first 12 levels, but they're basically just more difficult versions of them, and the game gets progressively more difficult until eventually all of your opponents are driving so fast that you can't possibly keep up with them at all, at which point the game becomes pretty much impossible. And since there aren't any other weapons to show off, because again, lasers and freeze rays, those items that were usable in RC Pro-Am 2, they don't exist in the first game, or the first game's remake for that matter. And I mean, what else can you really say about RC Pro-Am in general? It's basically just isometric RC car racing, with some vehicular combat here and there, but there's not really anything else to it, honestly. So you know what? I think I'm just gonna end the video right here, because that's Championship Pro-Am. There's nothing else to this game, that's it. I really don't like the fact that all of the levels look exactly the same as each other, with like no different themes whatsoever. Because one of the things I liked about RC Pro-Am 2 was the fact that it at least tried to change up the theme of each individual level, like every 8 levels that you complete. Like the fact that the game essentially took place across multiple worlds, and also the addition of little mini-games that you would play in between each world as well, because I don't think those exist in Championship Pro-Am either. Yes, the graphics in RC Pro-Am 2 are definitely a lot more primitive, because for whatever reason, Rare decided to develop the second game exclusively for the NES, despite the fact that it came out around the same time as Championship Pro-Am, so I don't understand why Rare didn't just bring the second game over to the Genesis or the SNES. But no, what they chose to do instead was remake the original game for the Sega Genesis, bring it over to that console, and just keep the second game confined to the shackles of the NES for whatever reason. Like, what exactly was the motivation behind that? I don't even understand. Why not remake the second game as well? Why didn't you just do that too? And actually, why didn't you just develop the second game for the Genesis? Why release the game on a console that was already on its dying days? Like, I don't get it, Rare. But either way, I still enjoyed this game for, you know, at least a good half hour or so. But I would still very much prefer to play RC Pro-Am 2, not only because it's slightly easier and therefore a bit more up to my speed, no pun intended, but also I am a lot more familiar with the ins and outs, or like the inner workings of RC Pro-Am 2 in particular, so I just feel like there's way too many features that are missing from Championship Pro-Am, like not that many weapon types, no different themes for each individual level. I do like the inclusion of more opponents though, and I definitely enjoy my racing games that allow me to race against as many opponents as the game engine will allow. Usually the more opponents the better, at least for me. In retrospect, I could have also made this like a comparison video, or I guess in some ways a double feature video where I was comparing the original RC Pro-Am and its remake Championship Pro-Am together side by side. Like maybe for the first half of the video I could have played the original, and then the second half I could have played Championship Pro-Am, but it doesn't really matter all that much. I would still argue that Championship Pro-Am is a much better version of RC Pro-Am, but when it boils down to it, I would still prefer RC Pro-Am 2 over both of those games. I definitely wish RC Pro-Am 2 could have gotten a remake of some kind as well, but unfortunately that never happened, and it doesn't seem likely that Rare is ever gonna bring back the RC Pro-Am series anyway. I mean, this series has been dormant for almost 30 years now. I don't think there has been a new game released in the series since RC Pro-Am 2, actually. I do know that there was also a Game Boy RC Pro-Am game called Super RC Pro-Am. I don't know if I'll ever check that out at any point, but either way, that's where I'm gonna end the video off for now, so that's it. We're done playing this game. I really wanted to bring the RC Pro-Am series back to my channel in some way, shape, or form. I thought this would be a really fun way to bring the series back to the channel, and this was never going to be a terribly long video anyway, because I just wanted to inform you guys about what you needed to know about the game, and, well, there really isn't that much to know about it, so that's it, we're done here. If you want to go and play Championship Pro-Am, I would recommend that you just find a physical cartridge of the game, but if you want to play it through Sega Genesis Classics, somebody did create a mod for Golden Axe 2 that replaces the game with Championship Pro-Am, so I'm not going to provide the link to that in the description though, because I'm unsure as to the legality of that. If you go to the Steam Workshop page for Sega Genesis Classics and type Championship Pro-Am into the search bar, and then press enter, you should be able to find it. Remember to download the Golden Axe 2 version of the mod though, because all of the other versions are probably not real. Actually, I don't think there are any other versions of the mod that were made. I think the only one that was ever made was for Golden Axe 2. I think there's only like one search result that'll come up, and it should be the correct one. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me for now, guys. So, thank you as always for watching, and I will see you in the next video I make. Later!